Hello and welcome to the Philippines, La Almirah Crest. We're going to look at today. It is actually a combination of housing units as well as a condominium project. One or I think maybe two different condominiums within the same project. I'll show you a map and additional details about that later. I think prices start for the condominiums. I think they start right around 1 million pesos, which would be about 20,000 US dollars. And I think the condominiums, well, I'll get into that a little later. Anyway, we've been under a quarantine, under a lockdown, economic lockdown because of the medical situation across much of the world for the last 4 months. So what's happened, most of the construction workers have gone home to their provinces, and pretty much all work has been shut down by the government. Only essential businesses, very essential, like grocery stores, have been allowed to open. So, anyway, what happens when you shut down for 4 months? Well, the area becomes overgrown with weeds and construction stops. That's happening all over the Philippines and probably other parts of the world as well. Anyway, this is a project by Myvan, Myvan, and kind of a unique setup. They've got, like I said, they've got housing units and they've got condominiums on the same project. Anyway, this was listed on one site, hadn't been updated yet, as ready to move in. And I would say not quite, not quite. How long will it take once the curfew is lifted for people to start moving in? I think one person had moved in already, even had started a garden around their unit. That you got on the left, you've got some housing units. On the right, you've got, I think that's a 4-story condominium, and another place on the complex. They not quite started a larger condominium as well. And I will put some contact information. The realtor, actually, I wasn't at this site. A friend of mine who is a realtor took the video and sent it to me, so I will put her contact information in the description to the video, and you can contact her for additional information. But I think uh, the condominium units have, like I said, they start right around 1 million, maybe even just a bit under 1 million pesos for uh, right around 20 square meters, which isn't a lot. But one thing that surprised me when I first came to the Philippines in 2015 was the small size of the condominium units that were offered. Anything built, I think, in the last about 10 years, they've downsized. And I was told by a realtor it was in an effort to fit more people during the growth process, fit more people into the same amount of space. I think that's happening in many parts of the world. In fact, I think many people cannot afford, especially in the Western countries, the larger homes anymore. So more and more, you're seeing people tiny homes. You can search for tiny homes online and find lots of tiny home type things people just can't afford. Even with the low interest rates, they just cannot afford the high cost of housing these days. And so people are, I had a cousin down near San Diego, California, I think over 20, 30 years ago. He was renting his garage out to a Vietnamese family, I believe. And people were doing that all over California, even though it was not legal. That's just the cost of things. People just can't afford a lot of the houses out there. And anyway, we're looking at a one of the housing units here. I think, and there again, I cannot put out prices because there's many different types of units with many different types of price ranges. So I'll give you the contact information in the description. Anywhere from maybe, I don't know, 2 bedroom, 3 bedroom, 4 bedroom type units. And you can contact her for additional information, but we'll look around a little bit here. A couple things I'm always interested in is, first of all, water. How are there any water issues, water pressure issues? Number one, I know know a couple friends over on Mactan Island. They have put in some pretty big water tanks so that they have water in case their water is ever shut off. They continue to have water. Electricity and brownouts. How big of an issue is that? Do you want a generator set? Might not be a big issue in this part of town. The other issue is termites. I mentioned in a previous video that I was over in a development. I think it was in Bohol, and looking at models, and I went to the back door and opened it up, and it fell off in my hand. The termites you could see in all the wood frame of that door. Termites had eaten it completely away. It fell right off in my hand. And termites are prevalent here in the Philippines and many parts, even in Arizona, different parts of the U.S. as well. I would want to treat that my land area with some type of repellent. There are many different developments going on, some finished, some starting, some in between. North of Cebu City and south of Cebu City. I've been down to Minglanilla and Talisay City, done a few videos down there. Most of you probably know that I've been doing a lot of reviews of condominiums and a few resorts and housing developments for a little over 4 years. So certainly invite everybody to visit many of the other videos I have. And I have them under a playlist on condos, hotels, resorts, those types of things. And it gives you a little look around the area and what's going to get built up there eventually. More development, more housing developments, who knows. One thing that is surprising at a lot of these developments is that they don't put screens on the windows. And of course, these are still under construction, so there's a CR, I presume. Some of these 4 bedroom units, one of the bedrooms was actually a maid's room. And you'll find that's relatively small. Very common in the Philippines to have a maid's room once you have even 3 bedrooms. And they oftentimes have their own CR, bathroom, and do the cooking, the cleaning, those types of things. So very common. The one nice thing about a development like this is that you don't have the walls. You're able to see. You're got more space around you, I think. Now, as I was saying earlier, the prices change substantially. The different units, the different square meters, square footage, and the location in the development. I think the smaller units start right around 3 million pesos for the houses here, which would be about usually a million is about 20,000 US dollars. So 3 million is 60,000 US dollars for a house and lot. And foreigners cannot own land here. So if you end up buying a house some way, you have to lease the property. I understand you can own a building, but not the land, so you have to lease it. For all practical purposes, a foreigner cannot buy one of these units. And what many people do, what many foreigners do, they put it in their girlfriend's, their wife's name, and lease it back to themselves, or find a good lawyer so that you're not kicked out of the only house that you end up putting your money into. It pays. It's important to do the legal thing correctly, because I've heard many stories of the marriage, the situation breaking up, and the guy having to walk away from everything they put their money into. So do a prenup, somehow get a lawyer to tie it up so that you're protected to a certain degree at least. Anyway, that's a little look around La Almirah Crest by my van up in Liloan, just north of Cebu City. Number of developments up that way and all around the Cebu City metropolitan area. Anyway, I've got more coming up in the future, and I'll put contact information in the description to this video. Anyway, thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you next time.